The Denver Nuggets shocked the NBA in last year's playoffs, making the Western Conference Finals after coming back from 3-1 series deficits against Utah Jazz and against a very stacked Los Angeles Clippers team, who were heavily favoured, to get out of the West along with the Lakers. In this offseason then, they lost a key starter and a key piece to that, Western Conference Finals run in Jeremy Grant. And people began to think, will the Nuggets get back to the Western Conference Finals like they did the previous year? Was it a fluke? And they started the season off very slow, and people thought this Nuggets team, they're still a year or two off, really challenging the West and the NBA. But currently, as this video is being recorded, the Denver Nuggets are 4th in the West with a 31-18 record, currently on a 5-game winning streak. And with the Lakers missing LeBron, AD, and now Andre Drummond, they've got a chance to really, get some distance between them and the Lakers. The Nuggets, they've made some serious moves before the trade deadline, including Aaron Gordon for Gary Clark, and that they also got Aaron Gordon with Gary Clark, and the Magic received Gary Harris and RJ Hampton, and some future picks. And they also got JaVale McGee from the Cleveland Cavaliers, which I think is a very underrated move. Anyway, let's start with Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, he's like the Jeremy Grant replacement. AG this season, he's averaged 14.2 points per game, 6.4 boards, and 4 assists per game, on 37% shooting from 3, on 4.5 threes a game. He's a very versatile defender. You can stick him on a wing like a LeBron, a Kawhi Leonard, a Paul George. He can do a job there, very good. In the Philadelphia game, he did very good on Ben Simmons last week, and also against the Clippers recently, he did a pretty good job on Kawhi Leonard. You're never going to stop these guys like the Kawhis, LeBrons, but you got to slow them down as much as you can. He's also a very versatile offensive player. He can hit the three, super athletic, and playing alongside Nikola Jokic in the front court, that's going to be a very strong and dangerous front court to play against. You got AG who can cut in, Jokic, one of the best passers in the game, picking out Aaron Gordon, throwing up lobs, feeding him, getting some wide open looks. I think this is a very good move for him. And finally, Aaron Gordon is on a good team. He's on a very bad Magic team for a long time, so this is his chance to show the NBA what he can do. And I think he's in a perfect setting now with this Nuggets team. And if you didn't think Aaron Gordon and Nikola Jokic in the front court, was scary enough, add JaVale McGee in there, another 7-footer, 3-time champion. He knows what he's doing. JaVale McGee is a great backup center. As a Laker fan myself, watching JaVale all of last season, and I've seen how much we've missed him this year along with Dwight. He does a super job in that center position. JaVale this season averaging 1.2 blocks per game and 5.2 boards. He's a very experienced veteran. You can lean on him. Certain matchups aren't for him. We saw in the playoffs last year, especially in that Rocket series. It's not suited for him. But in the right matchup, him and Jokic, him and Gordon, they can lock up the paint. If you're going to beat the Nuggets, you're going to beat them on the perimeter, not in the paint. Because with JaVale McGee, Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, and even Paul Millsap coming off the bench, you've got a lot of front court depth there. And they're locked and loaded on the front court. No one's getting in the paint for sure. The Nuggets, they got a very strong starting lineup now. A starting 5 that can really compete with anyone in the West and the NBA. You've got Jamal Murray, you've got Will Barton, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. And as I said, some experienced vets like Paul Millsap and JaVale McGee coming off the bench. The Nuggets, as I said, they're actually 4th in offensive rating in the NBA at the moment, and they're 5th in 3-point percentage, shooting 38.7% from 3 as a team, which puts them, as I said, 5th in the NBA. So they can hit the 3 very well. A very big physical team. They've got a lot of weapons, which shows how good the Nuggets are offensively. They got the firepower to compete with anyone. And I think when it matters most defensively, they can lock in as well defensively. But they got the firepower to beat anyone. One player I want to talk about in particular is Michael Porter Jr. He's taking the next step this season in his second proper season playing in the NBA. Obviously, he missed his rookie year, the 2018-19 season, due to a back injury, which led to him being only the number 14th pick overall. Some teams really missed out on him, I think. He dropped down to 14. Someone had to take the chance on him. Nuggets did, but he could have gone much higher if it wasn't for that back injury. Anyway, this season, he's averaging 16.5 points per game, 7.5 boards, on 45% shooting from 3, on 5.6 threes a game. MPJ is a prolific scorer, especially at this stage in his career. He's got all the attributes to be one of the best players in the league in the future. He's going to be a big player in the next 3 or 4 years even. I think he's an unrestricted free agent this year as well, so he'll be getting money this offseason. He'll be getting paid this offseason for sure. As I said, he's a crucial part of this Nuggets team. Not just a role player, he's more than a role player. He's He's up there with Jamal Murray and Jokic. Even Aaron Gordon now, he's up there as one of the main guys you go to, to get buckets in the game. Defensively, he lacks a bit, but he's got all the attributes to be a good defender. He's big, he's long, he's got a good wingspan. So, I think he's to be a great player for this Nuggets team. As I said, he's more than a role player. Don't get that mixed up. He's a crucial part of this Nuggets team and what they're doing. We saw what he could do last year in the bubble, and he said he's taking the next step this season. Another player, Jamal Murray. We all saw what he could do in the bubble last year. He went off and he went crazy. This year though, he's averaging 21.2 points per game, 4 boards, 5 assists on 41.2% shooting from 3 and 1.3 steals a game. Jamal, he's been hot and cold this season so far. He started the season off slow, then got into it. During the regular season, that's the kind of player he is. That's why he hasn't been an all-star yet, because he's too hot and cold during the regular season. But in the bubble last year and in the playoffs, we saw his all-star potential and how good he can be. Still only 23, Murray's got plenty of time to get his act together during the regular season and become a multiple-time all-star. And I think when it comes to playoff time, he'll be there. He'll step up. He's like Rondo. He's one of those playoff players that step up, and when the lights shine brightest, he's there. And you can count on him. You can rely on Murray. Some unbelievable games in the bubble last year. And watching the Nuggets versus the Lakers last year, me personally, I think Murray was exceptional. Last year in the playoffs, he averaged 26.5 points per game, 6.6 assists per game, and 45% shooting from 3 and 7.2 threes a game. So as you can see, his playoff numbers go up, and I think it's a certain type of player to do that. You see some regular season players, they go all out in the regular season, they play so well, but then in the playoffs they just don't have it in them. Murray's one of those guys that take the step up in the playoffs, and that's why I think, even though this season Michael Porter Jr.'s had a better season, Jokic has clearly had a better season, who we'll get on to next, don't count Murray out. He'll be a big part of this team come playoff time, and I trust this guy that once playoff time comes along, he'll step up. And now on to Jokic. The Joker has been exceptional this season. As of right now, hopefully he gets no injuries, especially for Nuggets fans, he's the MVP. This year, he's averaging 26.8 points per game, 11.1 boards, and 8.5 assists per game, on 57% shooting from the field, and a 42.5% shooting from 3, on 3.6 threes a game, and also 1.6 steals a game. He's averaging almost a triple-double. He's having a great season. The Joker, and also, he hasn't missed one game yet. The Joker, as I said, almost averaging a triple-double, and he's only just gone 26 years old. So he's only hitting his prime. He got many years ago in his prime. And he's an exceptional player. One of the best playmaking bigs in the league. One of the best playmakers, full stop. Never mind, he's the best playmaking big in the league. He's definitely the current MVP as of right now. Hopefully for him, he gets no injuries. We've seen Joel Embiid and LeBron, 2 MVP favourites, and as a big LeBron fan myself, hit me hard when Bron got injured. But hopefully, Jokic, he can stay fit, he can stay healthy. As I said, he hasn't missed a game so far. He's played every single game, and that's what wins you MVP. Most valuable player. He's there every night, clocking in. He's always there. You can rely on the guy. And there's some nights where he's a very good team player. There's some nights where he'll step back and he'll let the young player like Michael Porter Jr. or Jamal Murray take more shots. But if it's a tight game and they need him, he'll come in, he'll step in, he'll hit the shots. He'll come clutch. So Nikola Jokic, as of right now, my MVP. Damian Lillard and Giannis, a close second and third. James Harden's been injured recently, but I wouldn't give it to him anyway. He had a very poor start to the season with the Rockets, and he's on a stacked Nets team, even though KD has taken the season off nearly. But yeah, back onto Jokic, definitely the MVP so far. And he's, as I said, he's not even the number one offensive. He doesn't need to be the number one offensive option to affect the game. He can affect the game in so many different ways, which is why I think he should be the MVP. And I think, it just shows how loaded this Nuggets team is. You've got scorers like Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon, and you can allow Jokic to step back. But if those guys are having a rough night, Joker can step in and he'll hit the shots. This guy can be a scorer too if he wants to be. If he wants to be aggressive, he'll get the points on the board. So overall, I think the Nuggets, they're a serious threat to the NBA, not just the West, to the NBA. They're a good young team. They got great potential and a great coach as well in Mike Malone. It doesn't get talked about enough. They made the Western Conference Finals, as I said last year, and I think they've improved from them. They've learned a lot. But I hope they'd want to be learning a lot, from last year's playoff experience. So they're more experienced. They're still a young team. They're ready to rock and roll. If Rondo turns out to be a bust with the Clippers and doesn't make the impact that they thought he would, I'd definitely pick the Nuggets over the Clippers. I'd probably pick the Nuggets over the Clippers with Rondo right now. Controversial or not. maybe that isn't even controversial at this stage. They bet them last year, come back from 3-1. I can see the Nuggets and the Clippers. If the Nuggets played the Clippers, I can see the Nuggets getting through. The Lakers, if AD isn't fully healthy, they're going to give the Lakers a heck of a game, heck of a series. So the Clippers, the Lakers, Jazz, Suns, any other competitors, even the Blazers, they've all got their work cut out for them with this Nuggets team. They're an unbelievable team. If LeBron and AD can get back healthy, I still would pick the Lakers over them. But that's not a guarantee. You can't guarantee people are going to be healthy. So if they're not healthy, I'm saying it now, I think this Nuggets team are going to get out of the West if LeBron or AD isn't healthy. I fully expect Bron to be. It's all about how AD is doing. But nevertheless, this Nuggets team aren't going away anytime soon. You got a 23-year-old Jamal Murray, a 23-year-old Michael Porter Jr., 26-year-old Nikola Jokic, and you've also got 26-year-old Aaron Gordon, 28-year-old, I don't know. They got a good young team. They're here to stay. Keep an eye on this Nuggets team. They can read. I would not be surprised if they're in the NBA Finals this year. But anyway, guys, tell me what you guys think. Are we overrating this Nuggets team? Do you even think they're as good as they were last year, or even better? That you guys tell me. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on notifications because we got plenty of videos coming out, so stay notified. And with all that said, I'm out of here.